In Texas, there are a lot of people that, conservative Tea Party types, that think that we should abolish the Export-Import Bank. In fact, even recently, the Dallas Morning News wrote an article on it, and I've seen that reposted on stuff. Could you please comment on that?
Yeah, I'm a contrarian on this, and the reason I'm a contrarian on it is because, again, looking at manufacturing as the key for us to be able to bring back the strong middle of America. One of the keys for our manufacturers is to be able to export. And if you look at the competition with all the other major exporting countries, they all have an export-import bank, all of them, every single one. They all have a government agency that helps facilitate through insurance or through direct lending the trade of goods to other countries around the world. We also have that, and now some have said that we don't need to do that, that this is somehow another crony capitalism or whatever. I'm not going to argue that the Ex-Im Bank is the most efficient bank and does everything the way they should do it. But what I am arguing is that given the state of the banking of banks in America, particularly in a post-Dodd-Frank world, I have been told by bank after bank after bank that the complexities and the risk associated with supporting loans on manufactured products being shipped to other countries is something they as banks will not do. They just simply won't do it. Dodd-Frank, in their mind, doesn't allow them to do it. And so what we're doing is unilaterally disarming us. I mean, I can tell you, I've talked to major employers who have told me that if Ex-Im Bank goes away, they will lay off hundreds of thousands of workers, okay? Because they will lose contracts and not have the ability to compete internationally. Now, I understand the idea of crony capitalism. I understand the idea that government should be limited, but I also understand the idea that the role of the federal government is to create a level playing field for our businesses to be able to compete with businesses around the world. And if what we're doing is passing Dodd-Frank that says you're not going to be able to lend to these types of foreign transactions, and then we take away the only ability for our manufacturers to get financing for those transactions, then we have not created a level playing field for our manufacturers. We're playing politics, and that's what I see it. Jobs will be lost. There's no question in my mind. Jobs will be lost, and production will be moved offshore, where they have financing so they can send their products to other countries around the world. I don't understand this. I mean, I really don't. I mean, if you don't like the way the bank is being run, one of the complaints was, well, most of the loans, values of loan goes to Boeing and Caterpillar and GE, and well, if you look at most of the big major export contracts, those are the folks who are doing most of the exporting. Are these big companies that you have these huge deals on everything from land moving equipment to machinery to a whole host of other things. Locomotives that are made in Erie, Pennsylvania, I might add. All of those things are big operations, but they're supported by hundreds, if not thousands, of small manufacturers who supply parts to Boeing and GE, including many here in Texas. And so I've just taken the approach that I'm for a common sense approach to making sure that our folks can be competitive. And if you can show me that that's not necessary, and you can say that our folks can be just as competitive without that bank, then I'm fine with it. But every piece of information I have says that is not the case. Every manufacturer and every bank tells me that. And so as long as that's what I'm being told, then I can't, in good conscience, say that we need to eliminate this because it's big government, when in a sense, what we're doing is destroying the economy of our country. That is, to me, cutting off your nose to spite your face, and I just see myself as a little bit more, I'm a conservative, but I'm also practical in understanding how other governments compete, and if we don't stand up and compete against them, then that's going to cost Americans jobs and ability for our country to grow, and that is not sound policy as far as I'm concerned.